NFL Week 10 on the horizon. That means it's 5 weeks till the fantasy football playoffs begin. Week 14, that would be. Things are getting real. People are still getting injured. League winners are changing. Let's get it. Here's where I would do an intro if I had one. What do you think, guys? I used to do that intro all the time. It's changed. Shout out StreamYard. Let's get right into it here. Hope everyone's doing well. If you're new here, we're all things best ball. Oh, turned off my wrong thing. Okay, let's get me over here. Bang! What up? What up? What up? Back to the roots. Yeah, if you've been here a while, I used to always do that. So let's kick things off with the Eliminator here because the pods are out and the team with Davis and myself are moving on. Last week, I called out some dude who was being a tinfoil hat, and then he persisted to, like, give me death threats or something. Twitter, fantastic place. Hello, Unk. Anyways, Davis and my team. Goff, Herbert, Penix, no buys there. CMC, HN, Harvey, Dobbins, Woody, Marks, Kendre, out. No buys there. JSN, Big Mike. JMO, Golden, Mooney, Shaheed, Pop Douglas. No buys there. Obviously, Big Mike is hurt. Kincaid and Pitts, no buys there. Rashid Shaheed, the only question is, what percent of snaps is he going to play? He is obviously being traded midweek, although it's with a coordinator that's familiar with him. So not 100% sure. Mentioned this yesterday, but I did go back and watch the stream that Davis and I did this together on. We drafted this team, I want to say May 15th, May 5th, maybe. I think May 5th is when we drafted it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that stream up and post it as a recorded video. Hopefully, week 10, sweat's real. So if you get knocked out, you get $500. That's great for some. But Davis and I, we're going for a cool $200,000. What a gift that would be. Davis about to have a child. Haven't talked to Davis for a while, but would be awesome. So yeah, Rashid Shaheed, we'll see how much he plays. Some highlights of the stream. Okay, the CMC pick, that was Davis. I deferred to him. Achan was kind of me / both of us. JSN was also me, which kind of surprised me because I didn't draft that much JSN. But at the time, I was like, oh, let's just slurp the dip because he was going as a 2-3 turn pick. And he went as a 3-4 turn pick. Because we used to stream every week and now we don't, Darnell Mooney, one name I floated out there was Emeka Egbuka. And Davis is like, no, got to get the week 1 routes. But we also floated out someone else. And, who knows? This is a weird game. Darnell Mooney could be the reason we advance in a week, right? He's running routes. Of course, Davis didn't want Kincaid. JMO, we were both into. Golden, I think we were both into. I wanted Dobbins. He did not. He didn't want Harvey, but I think we both ended up liking it in the end. Yeah, I don't remember all the highlights, but yeah, I'll post that as a recorded video, especially if we keep going further. Okay, the villain. Josh Allen and Mahomes. So we got Goff, Herbert, Penix, but he's got Josh Allen and Mahomes. Although Mahomes is on his bye, so he's got Josh Allen against the Dolphins. CMC, and Taylor. So we're duped on Taylor. I mean, we're duped on CMC. He does have JT. Maybe JT can have another bad week. The opponent I played last week also had CMC and Taylor. Connor, obviously not playing. Pacheco not playing. Eckler not playing. So it's a 2 running back team. Can JT have another dud? Would have been nice to play this team week 11, you know? Tet, Waddle, Shaheed, Egbuka, Kirk, Dobbs, Pierce, MVS, man. God, and he got the MVS signing? Crazy. So we have JSN, but he has Egbuka. Kind of close here. And then we have the edge at tight end, I would say. If we look it up in here, I don't fully understand what's happening if Patrick sees this because it projects us as a 53. Okay, actually, no, I do understand. I've talked to Patrick about this. It projects us as a 53% edge to win, but it projects us for a lower score. And so what that means is it thinks we have a better holistic roster because we do. But if you just take the top scoring players projected for DS Council, it projects that as a better lineup, which makes sense, right? Like he has the better quarterback, but we have 3 shots at the pie. He has the better second running back in JT, but we have 4 shots at outscoring him, right? And he only has JT. It's hard to say who has better depth. Kind of him, I would say. But we have guys running routes too. Even Pop Douglas has had some good weeks. And then we have the better tight end room. So, yeah, it's going to be close, honestly. I wasn't thrilled to see this team. But definitely will be a close matchup, I think. Don't put that into the universe, man. Thoughts on hedging against your eliminator opponents going forward? I mean, I think it's kind of early for that. It's not even really clear how you do that. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to make a pick'em lineup with like Jonathan Taylor overs? Like, how do you cleanly hedge that? Someone asked, do I think Marshawn Lloyd can pull Rashad Penny? I definitely think he can. I will say, though, that the vibes have not been great. Let's get some of these questions. Which players do you think are shaping up to be playoff hammers? Well, like Colston Loveland. We'll have to see. Like, was that just like a 1-week pop-up game against the Bengals? Or is he going to be the number 1 target there? I think both are in the cards. Will James Cook play? My guess is yes, but also it's the Dolphins, so maybe they rest him. He got hurt to start the game, and then he plays, which is typically a good sign. Anyways, let's get into the best ball. So, per usual, starting off with the leaderboard here. Top scoring team, Soka King, 1390. It's a 4-quarterback team, of course. Mahomes, Tua, Geno, Darnold. Taylor, Jacobs, Brees, Benson, Rico. Getting Benson reinforcements. Chase, Sutton, Debo, Pittman, Burden, Kirk, QJ. A little reinforcements there with Kirk. Loveland and Ferg. Doesn't really seem like this is the top scoring team, but hey, I'll take the math's word for it. Doesn't seem like a team where I'm like, oh my God, yes, this team for the best ball playoffs, like it can't lose. Does not feel that way at all, right? Like it's just gotten like, well, it has JT, obviously. It has Chase. And then it's like, Rico has been great. It's got some well-timed games from Jacobs. It's got a couple points from Brees. It's got enough at wideout, but it feels kind of weak still there. But I'm not like, oh my God, yes, this team is worth like 3 times EV. It's got 4 quarterbacks. Like this is poor structure. Why do we have 4 quarterbacks on this team? I don't know. It would, like, there's no question in my mind you would rather the third quarterback be literally any skill player as far as like equity in the playoffs. Okay. I gained a couple teams, 29. The expected's 26.5. I don't know how clean the expected stuff is. We'll see. Like, this team is 61 points ahead and a 60% favorite to make the playoffs. That's all. And if we look at it, okay, Herbert and Mahomes, CMC, Chase Brown, Warren. So 3 running backs by themselves who are like, those are 3 shots at getting running back scores. Tank, we'll see. He actually looked like something before the bye. Ford, fine. Like, maybe he's a 0. Ladd, Worthy, Waddle, Rome, Mooney, Mims, Hollywood, QJ. I wouldn't call the wide receiver room weak. Like, everyone is playing and running routes. So it's like a very live room for best ball scoring. And then Freiermuth, K. Dotton, Tyler Conklin is not the strongest tight end room in the world, but between Freiermuth and Otten, it's good enough. Obviously, Tyler Conklin's like pretty much a 0. But, K. Dotton, he's going to be running routes, and Freiermuth has had some games with Rodgers. So it's not really clear. Like, maybe one of the teams that, like, let's look at the third place team. So things got added. He added the percent. He also added this draft standings. Krebby is the other team. Let's look at Krebby's team. CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Josh Jacobs. Okay. Smith and Hurts. Okay. Judy, terrible. Caleb, terrible. Kelsey, not that great. Tracy, not that great. Dak and Javonte and Ferg. Leggett, not that great. Eckler, a 0. Keenan has been worse a lot lately. Mason Taylor, fine. Cooper, a 0. And then Christian Watson, who somehow is playing. Shout out this guy having Christian Watson. But yeah, no, that team does not feel like it's like so much more live. Like, my team with a 60-point lead my team has so few zeros, right? It's like, okay, Conklin's a 0, Ford's a 0, maybe Tank's a 0, but I don't really know with Saquon. It's got 2 good quarterbacks. It has CMC. It's got a bunch of wideouts. Maybe it just like really doesn't like. Maybe the Monte Carlo simulations really don't like Worthy. Really don't like Mooney. Really don't like Mims. Like, these guys, I could understand being hard to project, where it doesn't really matter what Worthy does week in, week out. We know he can catch an 80-yard touchdown, right? Tyquan Thornton's doing it. Same thing with Darnell Mooney. We know he can catch a deep ball. Same thing with Mims. Same thing with Hollywood. But yeah, interesting. My top scoring team, same one as always. Goff, Herbert, Rodgers. Rodgers has actually had several good games, but Herbert's just being an absolute dog. Bijan, JT, Swift, JCM, Will Shipley, Ladd, J-Mo, Metcalf, Debo, Downs, Elkai Minor, Trey Tucker, KLS, Loveland, and Goddard. Kraft is the big one that we lost. I talked about this yesterday, but yeah, I mean, I was kicking myself a little bit for not having more Kraft because, I mean, I had a lot of Kraft, 16 teams of Kraft, and you guys know that watch this channel. I was like, oh, he could be the top player. I like him a lot. But I just fell a little bit more in love with Loveland. Top 10 pick, so this is the game we're playing, Kraft was obviously unquestionably a great pick, and the Loveland teams are coming in very late, but, he looks like a stud now. I will see. Tank looked legit good. Brock Bowers back from the dead, I think, is a story there. I will not be advancing any Bowers team, is my guess. But I do have Bowers on some high-stakes teams, particularly tight end premium. Like, all my Bowers teams, first of all, I did not draft that many of him. I just thought he was like, he's a great piece if you can make the playoffs. I just thought he was going to be an incredibly difficult piece to make to the playoffs. Because I thought, like, the story of this year which I feel pretty right about, was how good the middle round tight ends were. Any hope for Shipley? I have hope, Chad, but it's not looking great, if we're being honest, right? Week 1, we were so high, Chad. We were so high then. But yeah, 140 points back seems quite bad. Gibbs, Bowers, yeah, just didn't get any running back points. Was hoping for like Gibbs to be like a league winner in this, and this was probably expensive, Brian Robinson. So not going to cut it. What about an August 31st team? Yep, no points at running back. That seemed to what happened. Like my Bowers teams, I'm going to guess I didn't draft James Cook on one. Random. Oh, no, I did on one. Love and Gino. Okay, not great. Joe Mixon team. Okay. Aaron Jones barely played. Swift. Fine. Mike Evans, man. Mike Evans is killing me. Such a good pick, I think. My Ibuka teams I feel pretty good about. Particularly because most of them are early Ibuka. Like April 28th Ibuka. This was like a day or two after the contest opened. Round 8. Right? And then if we look at how do I close this? If we look at August 7th or August 31st Ibuka, 5th round. If we look at August 7th Ibuka, just to see how much it changed. 7th round. So it got really expensive there at the end. I don't think Kraft's advance rate's going to tank too meaningfully because the damage has already been largely done, but I don't know, 16% maybe, Jay. The people who are absolutely shitting on Loveland, I mean, just an F- for them to add any context, right? Like the dude had a shoulder injury and then he hurt his hip. So like, of course you're going to start slow like that. And he's young. He's 21. Doing, let's see, the big dog. So like let's see, the big dog, I'm advancing 2 teams right now. We'll jump in there to see the expected. This is like the $500 ones. Schnauzers, I autoed these back in May. Big board, doing pretty good there. I think I just had more Rico there. 36%. So whatever, positive advance right there. We hit the ground running. Big dog also doing well there. We'll see what we end up at. Some of the teams are just so decimated with injury. Let's see. Love how you can just go into different things here. Because these high-stakes sweats are so pure. So, okay, Patrick's math, he's the guy who runs BBMDB, has me at a coin flip to get 2 teams or not. But, you know, like if I didn't see that and I still kind of think it's like, well, I have 4 teams within 40 points and 5 weeks to go. So, okay, this team it thinks is certainly making it. And I'm a little confused by that looking at the roster, but okay, we'll take it. Maybe the people behind me have major injuries. Well, let's look at that actually. Herbert, okay, so it thinks I'm like a lock. It thinks Worm is a lock, and it thinks Hot Sizos has a chance of knocking either of us out. So we'll look at Hot. Maybe Hot Sizos just has a bunch of injuries. So Herbert, Penix, Darnold. Great quarterback room, especially Darnold. Kyron, Cook. Those 2 are holding it together. Tracy, who is playing, right? Like he had a bad game, but he's playing. Tyler Algier and Chubb, they're whatever. Nico, London, Waddle, Olave. So those 4 are holding it down at wideout. Brandon Ayuk, he's going to return eventually. Might be a 0 this year, but yeah, we'll still have some hope there. Cooper Kupp, he might be a 0 now. Don't know if the Monte Carlo are taking account for that, but we'll see. Keenan, he'll still have some random games. Tutu, he's on IR. Laporta and Pitt's pretty good. Okay, so hot Scissors. Pretty funny that the 1 and 2 hole are both advancing here. I wonder how often that's a thing. And neither of us have JT. The JT team has Puka and JT, and he's in 7th. What happened? Jaden, James Conner, Jerry Jeudy. He also got Judkins. He's got Richardson. Matthew Stafford's also been awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I've typically said that, like, league winners matter more. Oh, I guess Peter was in this one. Put me over here. No. Let's put me over here. So you guys can see the full board. I typically think league winners matter more, but, like, yeah, Puka missed some time. Terry's missed a lot of time. Jaden's missed so much time. Connor's been hurt forever. Josh Downs has only been good recently. Mooney's been not good at all. Burden's been bad. Ramondre got hurt. So he actually has quite a bit good picks to be in 7th place. Oh, no. I'm sorry. That's the 7th draft slot. Let me not be dumb. But he's still down 100-ish points. Okay, and then hot Zizos. So the 2 teams advancing are 1st and 2nd, and the other team that has a chance is the guy in 3rd, who took Malik Neighbors, number 3 overall. So probably running good there. Okay, so why does it think this guy has such a bad chance? Neighbors is crushing him. Achan, Worthy is a terrible 3rd round value, right? But could have a game. JSN, great pick. Henderson is a terrible 5th round value. Rome, fine. Mahomes, good. Igbuka, great. Drake May, good. Scatabo, hurt. Tootin, not enough. Kyle Williams, who is going to get to play now because of Booty, but he's been obviously a 0. Dylan Sampson, not great. Henry, good. Jonnu, not great. Sanders, out. My God, this guy drafted Darren Waller. Talk about playing well. But hurt. Calvin Austin back, so I don't know. I wouldn't put his odds that low myself, but you never know. Might get like 2 teams there, which is about expectation for me in the 5-5-5. One team's a lock, and then we'll see from there. Some teams just got like major injuries. Some teams are coming back. Okay, so it thinks that team's a lock despite it barely being an advancing team right now. Right, because we're all within 2 points of each other. But I guess it just loves that, like, I'm getting points at running back each week, and I do have a bunch of wide receivers who are live. And 2 tight ends. Okay, this team is 41 points ahead. And I kind of thought that this was my best team on paper, but we'll see. Thinks it's a coin flip to advance. Caleb, Gino, Dart. So just having Dart is awesome, right? GT, Cook, Ramondre, Tank, Grendo, B-Rob. So, okay, Grendo, B-Rob. I still like it in theory. Obviously, it requires a CMC injury, though, to actually pay off. Tank. I mean, I was viewing Tank as like a stone 0, and then he just had 100 rushing yards when Saquon got knocked out of that game. So we'll see. We'll see what he is. Ramondre, hurt. GT and Cook. Obviously, GT's not a fantastic pick, but good enough. Cook's a great pick. Puka, Marv's going to be so much better with Brissett. It's so crazy, man. It's so sad for Kyler, but it's so over. Travis Hunter, maybe he returns. We have hopes there. Rome, fine. Shakir, good pick. Keon's still going to have some weeks, right? Trey Tucker is majorly pointing up. And I have a lot of Trey Tucker in the big dog randomly. But yeah, majorly pointing up for him with the Kobe trade. Loveland, who, again, like, my guess that the Loveland projection is probably like 7 points. And we need to remember that, like, you can't project some of this stuff, right? Like, you can't project Rome Odunze scoring 0 points when the Bears score 50. You can't project when a team is going to drop 200 points on you in best ball and your team it scores 60, right? But yeah, Loveland and Ertz is a good tight end room. And maybe maybe Loveland is like the best tight end pick in fantasy. We'll see there. Or maybe he rips off a bunch of like 3 catches for 40-yard games. Like, a lot of season there. We'll look at my high stakes managed teams, by the way, after this too. Okay, this team's 45 points back. And yeah, this was a great draft by me. Played well, unlucky though. Goff, May, Shuck. So good quarterback room. I remember it being 50-50 between Shuck and Neighbors. Bummer to land on Shuck there. Achane and Walker and Dowdle. So Grendo, Shipley, Sanders. So 3 zeros. Achane, Walker, Dowdle. It's good, not great. But then the wide receiver room, man. Neighbors, Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall. Okay. So 3 zeros either for the full season or almost the whole season. We'll see with Ricky. So yeah, like despite it being a great wide receiver room, it's left with JMO, Olave, Diggs, and Mims. Right? So like that's probably just not enough. And then Njoku and Ferg. It's still hanging in there with JMO, Olave, Diggs, and Mims. But yeah, 2 hurt, I think. This one's 29 points back. Only 6% odds, though. Let's see. Do we agree? Herbert and Goff. Good. Gibbs, Brown, Warren, Tootin, and Dowdle. Great, honestly. I think that's great, right? Gibbs, Brown, Warren, Tootin, and Dowdle. Like, Chase Brown is like, he was looking like a stone zero, and he's looking a lot better with the Flacco experience. Dowdle, obviously a fantastic pick. Warren, a fantastic pick. And Tootin could still make his mark on the season. Ladd, looking great now. Hunter, hurt. We'll see. Flowers, looking a lot better with Lamar. Judy, terrible, but like he's playing. Jaden Reed, I think the hope for him is like week 13. So that would be 1 week or 2 weeks before the fantasy playoffs. So he would not be a piece that helps you advance. But if you make the playoffs, could help you. Alec Pierce, Diami Brown, who, okay, with no Hunter, is at least going to be in a better spot. Mike Williams, man. You wish Mike Williams, like if Mike Williams was Trey Tucker, this team for sure makes the playoffs probably. But yeah, basically it doesn't like that it has Ladd, Zay, who's like not the best fit for half point PPR, Judy, Pierce, and Diami Brown as your wide receivers. But tight end's pretty good. Kincaid, Likely, and Otten, obviously Likely looking better, but I would give that team better than a 6% chance. Let's see. Yeah, it just thinks that this team by Rusty is super strong. So let's see if we agree. I love this new thing. Okay, Rusty. Again, the first and second draft. Like how often is this happening? Was the left side of the board just dominating? So Rusty here, and I was in the 4 slot. Literally the first 4 drafters are the team who thinks it has a chance. So many landmines over here. So many. Okay, Rusty's got a Monra, AJ Brown, Kyron, Lamar, Addison, Laporta, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Bateman, Sharbs, ETN, Ramondre, QJ, Wandale, Penix, Darnold, and then some zeros. Honestly, yeah, good team. I think this, but again, like it's a good team, but you cannot project if Jahmyr Gibbs scores 30 points 4 weeks in a row here. That's not being projected in these things, right? If AJ Brown puts up a bunch of goose eggs, whatever, that's not being projected. But okay, yeah, not a favorite, I would say. And then yeah, all these teams are dead. Here's my worst one. Has Brock Bowers on it. Also has Brock Purdy. Also has Hampton. Also has Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, it just has like 500 injured guys. Let's jump into the best ball mania. Name some players, guys, that you want to see. Someone asked me in my Discord about the Puka CMC team. Yeah, like that's a team where I was like, okay, this team was not advancing, but even it's 18 points back, but it thinks it's a 96% chance to make it because it got so many reinforcements recently. Lamar, McCarthy, Jones, Puka, Pickens, Zay, Pearsall is going to come back eventually. So, like, this is a team, okay, it lost Kraft, and typically on Kraft, I was going 2 tight ends, but yeah, this is a team that you love that you have Otten and Mason. No, it's doing draft order, I believe. Let's check. This is the draft board, right? So, yeah, I was in the 8 hole here. It's doing the draft board. Yeah, I was really into Rico, and then late, I was like, okay, I can't keep on taking him. So I didn't end up with as much in BBM specifically. Have a ton in the big board, etc. But no, it's definitely doing it here. Let's just look at some of my advancing teams just because I'm very curious how many are advancing from the left side of the board and how many are not. So, okay, first one, the 2 hole. So it might just be a year where it's like totally out of your control. And if you didn't draw picks out of here, this one, the 4 hole, but also left side of the board. Pretty good hyper fragile team there. This one, middle of the board. CMCHN, Allen Cook. What a baller start. Hunter, Waddle, Shakir, Keon, Mooney. Yeah, you wish Hunter was like Rashee Rice. But, you know, man, I really think Hunter was going to smash. So we'll see. Kraft. But Kincaid. Kincaid's so good. This one. 3 hole. CMC. Okay, this one, 8 hole. Somehow the Brock Bowers team is also advancing here. So, like, what did it take for the Jonathan Taylor team not to advance? Saquon, Matthew Golden, Justin Fields, bad roster construction, I would say, with like 3 expensive tight ends, a bunch of terrible wideouts. Like, you have JSN, but your wideout room sucks. So, like, if you have bad roster construction, not only are you not going to advance, but you're dead in the playoffs. Whereas this team was some great roster construction by me, I think. I started with CMC, and I drafted as if he's like the best running back in football for fantasy football. London, Josh Allen, Worthy, Ibuka, Rice, Mahomes, 2 quarterbacks and stop. Shakir stacked with Josh. Loveland, Mooney, Kincaid, Josh Palmer. So I'm loading up on the wide receivers. Romeo Dobbs. And then what did I do? Judkins, Rashad White, Woody Marks, Brashard Smith, and Dameon Pierce. And you're not always going to hit on these guys. I happen to hit on this one, right? I got one of the, like, literally probably the best pick. I'm pretty sure I wanted Rico too, but obviously you can't get Judkins, Rico, and Rashad White. Rashad White has been awesome because of the Bucky injury. Woody Marks is a good pick. Smith is playing at least. Dameon Pierce, not a good pick. Because, like, sometimes you're going to take Justice Hill, Jerome Ford, Keaton Mitchell, Kendre Miller, Ray Davis, and then your team is dead. Right? It's very unlikely, but I would not say it's impossible. So, some interesting players. Rashee Rice for me. I'm up to 2 teams. It thinks one of the teams, though, is dead. I think it's interesting. My Puka teams, they're not doing so hot. Just a tough side of the board to advance. Well, yeah, there was a very narrow path on the right side, but it was possible. It was possible that you went like CMC, Puka, or Amon-Ra, or whatever. And then you got James Cook in like the third. You went JSN in the third. You got James Cook in the fourth. So you have like 2 good players plus 2 more great players. And then in the fifth, you went Rashee Rice. And in the sixth, you went Chris Olave. And then you got a great framework to like go from there. Then you got like Drake May in the middle rounds. You got, Kincaid or Loveland or Tyler Warren or Kraft before injury at tight end. You got Rico late. So like there was pass, right? Rico. Who's Rico carrying for me? Not that many guys. This team is not advancing, but it really likes its chances. Mike Evans, man, painful. Jonathan Taylor. So Jonathan Taylor, the question last week was, is he going to be a 70% advance rate guy? He's down to 55% right now. Oh, let's do this for the first round picks. So BBMDB is projecting him for 50%. How many teams did I advanced last year? I don't remember off the top of my head right now, Rob, but like around 25. Maybe 23. But I got 2 teams to the finals. So as I've always said, advancing is part of the equation, but it is really not the full story at all. Not really, Rob, because they don't have a great resource like BBMDB where you can look up stuff. And then for drafters, like love drafting on drafters. But unless you have a team that has like a deep sweat, like my best team is in 1,000th and it's 200 points off of first. So it's just like, it's not that interesting to look at, I feel. If I had a team in the running one year, would love to follow it, but yeah, hard to do that, right? And then on DraftKings, we'll look at those come playoffs, but otherwise it's just like very clunky to pull up all the teams there. Okay, JT, let's just go. Well, let's go through the first round, and then we'll look at my high stakes teams. So, first pick in fantasy football, Jamar Chase. He is at 25%, expected 20. Seems a little light, right? Like it's kind of hard to project the Joe Flacco experience. Next pick, we'll just go Gibbs. %, currently 20% expected. Bijan. 26%, 25. Jefferson. Oh no, someone fat fingered Jamar Jefferson. 13%, 14%. Yeah, like JJ McCarthy won that game, but as a passer, I don't think he's going to support that team too much. Saquon. 17, 18%. Kind of surprised he's so high. Had a bye. Puka. 18%, 21.5. McCaffrey. 35, 32. Neighbors. They'll do it. 6%, 4.4. Brian Thomas. 5%, 5%. My God, man. How am I doing on Brian Thomas? Gonna get one Brian Thomas team through. CMC, Cook, Josh Allen, Curtis Samuel, Amon-Ra. No, not for me. 14%, 16%. And then it's kind of ambiguous who you go next, but maybe like Gene T. Good luck, brother. 9%, 10%. Someone asked about Bucky. 10%, which is kind of high for him, I would think. 13%. Things can change quick, right? Like Bowers was 6% last week. He's at 10% this week. Let's take a break from best ball. We'll look at my high stakes teams. Did those on 2 platforms. The FFPC, did some main events, and then RT Sports. So did 2 main events, 1 and 3 best balls. So not too many teams here. This team, it's got a chance in the best ball, but we're going to look at the managed teams. So this team I drafted by myself in May. I got to do waivers after this. So it's currently first in points after scoring 200 points, and it has Bowers on it as its first round pick. So team feels awesome. Like, hope this team can win the contest and win $1 million. Lamar, Achane, Cook, Egbuka, Waddle, Bowers, Rico, Kincaid. And then I got Rashid Shaheed on the bench, Travis Hunter on the bench, some running backs. Matthew Stafford held it down at quarterback without Lamar, got him on waivers. This is tight end premium if you're not hip, which is why Kincaid is in the flex here. Some other flex, like maybe Luther Burden turns into something. And tragically, I did have Oronde Gadsden, and then I dropped him for Matthew Stafford at some point because I didn't want to drop like Rashad Bateman yet. So sad. Obviously looks foolish in hindsight, but what are you going to do? Has Rico Dowdle, which like had patience here. This team could win, And the way it started is Lamar, it started Achane, it started Bowers, Achane, Cook in the third. So like I had conviction. I'm sure other people were like, what's going on? Then it went Lamar. And a big reason why it's killing is it got Egbuka in like the 9th round. Probably Blake Corum has higher upside, but Isaiah Davis has like better startability. So it depends what you need, Angus. The team drafted with Ron and Jacob. It's it needs to close like 100 points, and playoffs start week 12, I think, for FFPC. So there's only 2 weeks or 10, 11, 12, 3 weeks to close it. And yeah, like Henderson's been majorly letting it down. Nico Collins, man. We didn't look up Nico's advance rate. What's Nico? Nico has been crushing people. Just crazy. He was so good last year to have like this season, not even hurt. Or he missed a game. But yeah, Nico, Puka missing time. Goddard and Pitts have honestly been good. Cook's been good. It has George Pickens on bye. Lost some guys to injury. Same with my other team, but starting 3 tight ends, tight end premium again. So it's got a chance. We'll see. 3 teams on RT Sports. 2 of them got a chance. The team I drafted with Tolan is like so far dead. You might ask, how does a 3 and 6 team have a chance? Well, it's in it in points. So this is the team I drafted with, or I drafted against Davis, I drafted against Dwayne, and I drafted against Ian Harditz. Currently has me as the 3 seed, but Team's pretty good. Drake May, James Cook, Jalen Warren, Nico and Puka again, Loveland. How is Isaiah Davis in there? Put DK Metcalf in there. Must have been a fat finger. Rashad White, DK Metcalf also has a ton of players on bench. It's got Loveland, Kincaid. Maybe I'll play him instead of Loveland. I'm not sure. It's got Josh Downs. It's got Keon. It's got Tony Pollard, Rashad White. So very deep team. Should make the playoffs here. The other team is alive, and I think playoffs start week 13 on RT Sports. So you have one extra week compared to the FFPC. It's 1146 in points, and looks like so it's only 40 points out of making the playoffs, right? Needs to outscore either these teams. So I'm 40 points back on two teams, and it's a pretty good team. It's Herbert, who's great, Gibbs, Aaron Jones back to be my RB2. He's been hurt most of the year. And then it's got Brock Bowers back, and it has a ton of wideouts. It's got Marvin, Ladd, Tet, Romeo Dobbs, also has Jordan Addison, also has QJ, also has Debo. So, like, this is a team where you definitely wish it was best ball because the depth of the roster is so much better. And it's like, I need to decide who to actually play. Like, do I play? Who am I playing here? I'm not sure. It's hard to get these start sit rights when you have like Marvin, Ladd, Tet, Dobbs, Addison, QJ, and Debo. They all project for the same, you know. And then Loveland as the backup tight end, and it's got a bunch of like nobodies at running back because Aaron Jones went down and I had no RB2. So DK and Underdog do the winning amounts differently. The way that Underdog does it is they show the minimum amount of money you will get back if you advance right now. The way DraftKings does it is they calculate the expected value of your advancing team, and they show that, right? So like for a $500 draft, for example, they show that as they show that as winning $1,000 because that's a min cash, I think, right? So but on DraftKings, my 555 advancing team right now, or any 555 advancing team. Give me a second here. Is shown as winning $3,000 because that's what they calculate the expected value of an advancing team in the playoffs. And they calculate and they show for the $20, so the Millie Maker, they show it as $100. That's the EV of all the advancing tickets. So different ways they do it, right? I guess from Underdog's perspective, they want you to understand this is the amount of money you're going to make. And they don't want you to be like, why does it show that I'm winning this much, but I only got this much? And then from DraftKings perspective, they just want you to think you're winning more money than you will because it's hard to realize your EV, you know? Oh, Preston, you're in which one? You're in the Cheslium 3. Are you JoJo show? No, that's unless your name's Aaron. Maybe you're in Cheslium 1, Preston. I'll need to know when you said that. Oh, yeah, you were in this one with us, right? Your Cerveza time? Okay, let's see. Your team. Herbert, Rico, Achan, Jefferson, QJ, JSN, Marv, Laporta. Also have Mahomes. Rashee Rice. Yeah, you got a good team. I would like very thin at RB2, right? So you struck gold with Rico, and if you didn't have that, not great. And then really why your team is doing so well is I guess JSN, Achan, the quarterbacks. Maybe you played Kayshawn Booty some weeks. I don't know. Doesn't seem that you would like what's your points for? It's quite a bit, right? Like 1368, and so it's 100 points more than me. But yeah, Rico's had some 30 points games, so that will do it. All right, folks, let me know some players you want to see from me. I still think I might end up around like 30, 35. We'll see. Math says 26 and a half, which is like a classic amount for me. With as much Mike Evans as I had and Aaron Jones and these guys, I feel good. You want healthy teams, right? Brock Bowers. We already looked at Bowers. I'm dead there. All my Bowers hope is in my main event draft, which he's a better pick there. It's Titan Premium. Bucky. I've not looked at that, but yeah, he definitely seems like a player I'd be excited to have. Does not project me to get any in. He was a guy who I definitely thought could be the key to the fantasy playoffs. Yeah, nope. My best team is super injured. Probably Ricky Pearsall is the best one to have if you can advance him and he's playing. But it could be Brandon Ayuk. I think Juwan Jennings is what it is. He clearly was not a great pick, right? Just hasn't been able to do enough. How am I doing on Ayuk? One of 14. But a firm one. Josh Allen, Purdy, CMC Cook, Aaron Jones, Rashad White, Jalen Wright, BGJ, Rome, Olave. So much Olave, man. And yeah, he's just not going to have the touchdowns despite being a great player. Dart. Yeah, I almost always draft a lot of the quarterbacks, but I think I was a little spooked on the starting time with Dart. I don't think I played that well. Did end up with 9 teams, though. What I didn't do is I never drafted Russell Wilson. So 9 teams, not a nothing amount. Advancing only one of them, or advancing 2 of them, but the math hates my other one. We'll see. Herbert, Penix, Dart. Don't let the math rain on your parade. Bijan, JT, Jacobs, Ken Walker. So good running back room. Travis Hunter, please get healthy. Addison Jennings, Shaheed. So update for Shaheed here. That's another thing I wanted to say. Like drafting Shaheed and Olave together without Tyler Shuck is something I did quite a bit. And I think it's especially good to do that on bad teams when you think the wide receivers are good because you can get bailed out at the trade deadline like we saw just happen, right? Darnell Mooney, Kirk, Slayton, Yoshivas, Kraft, Ertz, Otten. And then the team it doesn't really like because the running back room sucks. Barely drafted Mixon, but somehow on some great teams. I don't have any Daniel Jones in Best Ball Mania. Did have some in the Eliminator. Is Troy Franklin overtaking Sutton? I don't know. Maybe. I think Sutton's kind of overrated as an NFL player, and so is Bo Nix. So they're 7-2. Obviously, they have a good record, but yeah, they're all going to have their weeks. Shaheed, definitely a player I liked. Let's see. 22 of them, only 4 advancing. Here's my best Shaheed team. Hurts and Gino, JT, Jacobs, Pacheco, Krosky, Merritt, Spears, Lamb, Smith, Olave. So here's an example. I took Chris Olave and Shaheed, right? Obviously would have loved for Geno to be Darnold, but it is what it is. Olave, Shaheed, Kirk, Trey Tucker, and Jack Beck. So, hey, this is the Jacob. Also, I never drafted Jacoby Myers. So, we'll see how good he is after the trade. I think he'll just be Tucker and Beck, though, kind of fun with, you would assume Beck has to play some here. Slayton and Kavonte Turpin somehow have scored the same amount of points. Njoku and Goddard. Pretty fun Shaheed team here. Another one with Bijan and JT. I think we already looked at that one. Another one with JT Amon-Ra. Another one with Josh. This is like the Bills-Eagles stack. So this one's kind of fun if it can make the finals. And then this team's 17 points back. The math hates it. Let's see why. Okay, Jaden and Goff. So clearly Jaden, not great right now. I think my mouse just died. J-Mo, Jennings, Pearsall, Cup, Shaheed. So funny that Cup and Shaheed are together here. Kirk, Pierce, Slayton, Hopkins, Tolbert, Kraft, Ertz. So I wouldn't put this team as such a low chance, but I guess what the math is doing is it hates Kraft, who's a 0. It hates Jaden, who's going to miss some time. And it doesn't like the wide receiver room of J-Mo, Jennings, Shaheed, Kirk, Pierce, Slayton. Because honestly, it's not that great. And it doesn't think my running backs are good enough. But kind of surprising that the Bijan JT team, it's like, nah. And JT's going to have a bye. So Tyler Warren, I didn't draft any Tyler Warren. Because I was right. Loveland's better. CMC Cook. How can a CMC Cook team? We're doing this on the trackpad. Laptop superiority. How can a CMC Cook team be such bad odds? 40 points back. Let's see. Goff and Trevor. CMC Cook, Aaron Jones. Tank. AJ Brown, Marvin. Hunter. Shakir, Shaheed, Mims, Pierce, Yoshi Boss. Laporta. So, yeah, it's got some injuries, but I think it's got a definite chance, right? Like, okay, CMC's going to have a bye, but why can't these two guys score 30? Goff score 30. You got enough wide receivers that are alive here, and especially some guys who fit the scoring format in Mims, Pierce, Yoshi Boss. So I think this team has a much better chance than... I think this is so cool how he gives like percentages. It's giving me 22%. So I guess what's going... like it's somehow it's given this team, which is 70 points back, 14%. 17% here, 2% here, 9% here. Let's look at this E.T. Martina team. What's it like? I mean, injured, Gibbs, Rice, Sutton, meh. Pearsall, injured. Golden, injured and not great. Injured, not great. Dobbs, Rico. I mean, this team is a 0% to me with how far back it is, but we'll see, I guess. Manungai, he's not someone I drafted. I talked about that yesterday. And I think the math is sophisticated. It's just very hard to do, and it's not perfect. And or maybe my estimations are wrong, right? Davis is Shaheed's team, someone said. Who drafted more Shaheed? I drafted 22. Davis drafted 33, so he ended up the bigger Shaheed bull. Yeah, Manungai I talked about yesterday. I didn't draft him on Underdog. I don't think, at least. I didn't check, actually. I think I drafted him like very rarely on DraftKings, 20 rounds. Because I thought Roshan, like even with Roshan injured to end the year, I din't want to gamble on Manungai's 7th round pick. And clearly he has the juice. Roshan, though, stone 0. Judkins, yeah, Judkins is an interesting player to look at. 3 of 10. Don't have a ton of Judkins, but my prices are all going to be good. So, of course, it has Joe Mixon on it, but let's see. Judkins in the 14th, nearly the 15th round. Pretty good. Judkins in the 14th round. We already looked at that draft. Now, this is a May 15th team, so this is where Judkins used to go. Judkins in the 7th. So this is a bad price on Judkins. But it does have, yeah, honestly, like this is the team where I low-key remember this team a little bit because what I remember is Cook and Allen both being on the board and me being like, well, I can't pass on Josh Allen. And I was praying James Cook made it. And this is like, this happens in best ball too. Like this is the great what if. Because if I could start at a draft, Puka, Achane, JSN, Josh Allen, Cook, like that's one of the best 5-round starts you can have. That doesn't include like the JT, CMC, Amon-Ra. Like that would have been the nuts. Okay, Cook goes at the 412. What are you going to do? I take Chuba. Judy and Judkins. Now I probably take Judkins because I had Judy. Same team correlation. Egbuka, awesome. Baker. So yeah, RB3 is a weakness on this, but it has 2 good running backs. And the guy who won BBM2 last year only had two good running backs. Jackson Dart, we already looked at. Trey Tucker, I think that's an interesting one. We're going to get out of here soon, but going to go watch Survivor. Only 7 and advancing 3 of them. Also have 3 of 8 in the big board. I mean, the big dog. Because I actually did look. I had Trey Tucker ranked as firmly draftable. But didn't do as many teams late on for Best Ball Mania. Trey Tucker in the 18th here. So yeah, Trey Tucker is lifting up some squads. Trey Tucker on, like, this is probably my best team as far as like jamming in good players. Just the CMC Puka thing. Incredibly rare combo, right? How many times is CMC and Puka paired together? Only 410 teams. Only 200 of these are going to expect to make the playoffs. To contrast that, something like Jonathan Taylor and CeeDee Lamb, there's going to be 4,000 of those teams in the playoffs. Jonathan Taylor and Jamar Chase. There's going to be 3,200 of those teams in the playoffs. Estimated, right? Pop Douglas. Is Pop Douglas even a good pick to have? He's had some good weeks. I don't know. He's on my Eliminator, so hopefully. 6 of 16 currently. What did I want to look at? I don't remember. Who else has a Eliminator team kicking around? Does Davis? No, his hope is with me. All right, Davis and I ride together. The rooting interests are aligned. How electric would that be? If we make it deep, or maybe Davis and I will jump on together for a little bit. Fitting that we have Shaheed on a team that both of us liked. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's what we got today. Any Jonathan Taylor beat Brian Thomas Jr. teams? Not in Best Ball Mania, but I definitely did that in some contest. I don't remember if I did that on DraftKings, but I remember specifically doing that. One thing I wanted to look at first was my big dog Trey Tucker teams. Because there's only going to be, how many big dog teams are there going to be in the playoffs? Only 360 big dog teams make the playoffs. Hopefully I put 2+ in there. And I have three Trey Tucker teams. Now, 2 of them are mega dead. And this team is, I think, going to make it and probably still my best team. Right? Like, okay, through the bye. Hasn't had its bye. Through the bye, hasn't had its bye. RB3 is still kind of thin, though, on the team. Through his bye, hopefully healthy. Through his bye, upgrade. Injured. Through his bye. I'm blanking on the Commanders bye week. Anyways. How about Loveland? How am I doing there? Only one Loveland big dog team. Same squad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got. Hope you liked hanging out for the Best Ball Leaderboard show. Playoffs are upcoming. Let me know who you're excited. What player would you be excited to reach the fantasy playoffs with? Hope you have a great day. Peace out.